My boyfriend's family pretended to be poor, so I pretended to be broke and watched them beg. It all started on a rainy afternoon when I met Ayan, charming, humble, and seemingly from a modest background. He had that easy laugh and soft-spoken confidence that made me feel safe, grounded, and seen. We met at a local coffee shop. I was there working on a presentation for my marketing firm, and he was sketching something in an old notebook. His clothes were simple, his shoes worn, and his phone was cracked, all signs of a man who didn't care much for appearances. I liked that. It was refreshing. In a world full of show-offs, he seemed real. When we started dating, he'd often say things like, "Money comes and goes, but values stay." I believed him. A few months in, he invited me to meet his family. I was nervous but excited. I wanted to know where he came from. When I arrived, I noticed their house was small, but it was clean and filled with warmth. His mom served us tea in mismatched cups, and his dad apologized for the fan that squeaked loudly overhead. I thought to myself, they might not have much, but they have love. They asked me polite questions about my job, my family, and my dreams. I answered honestly, though I noticed the way their eyes flickered when I mentioned the company I worked for, a prestigious firm known for its high salaries. I brushed it off, thinking they were just curious. Over the next few weeks, things began to feel strange. Ayan's family started asking me for small favors. His mother would say things like, "Beta, you're doing so well. Can you help us with this small expense? It's just temporary." Then it was his sister needing money for urgent college fees. Then his father called me one evening, voice trembling, saying they were behind on rent and would be kicked out if they didn't get help. Each time I helped, not because I had to, but because I genuinely cared. But after a while, the requests became more frequent, the stories more elaborate. One evening, after transferring another emergency amount, I decided to visit them unannounced. I remember walking up their lane, the night heavy and humid, and hearing laughter, loud, careless laughter, coming from the house. When I peeked through the slightly open gate, I froze. There they were, Ayan, his parents, his sister, dressed in expensive clothes, eating takeout from a high-end restaurant. On the table lay my emergency rent money, still in cash, along with receipts from a designer boutique. My stomach turned. I stepped back, heart pounding, anger mixing with disbelief. I didn't confront them right then. Instead, I went home, silent, hurt, and determined. That night, I cried, not because of the money, but because of the betrayal. I had believed them, believed in him. The next morning, I made a plan. If they wanted to play pretend, I'd join the game, but this time, I'd be the one writing the rules. I called Ayan and told him my company was going through financial trouble, and that I'd lost my job. I said it softly with fake shame in my voice. There was a pause, then a short, cold, "Oh." He didn't even try to comfort me. Within a week, his family had stopped calling. The constant affection and care turned into distance and whispers. I heard through a mutual friend that they were telling people I was lazy and irresponsible. It hurt, but I kept going. I picked up freelance projects quietly, working late nights, saving every penny. I changed my wardrobe to simpler clothes, stopped driving my car to their place, and took public transport instead. One day, Ayan invited me to dinner at a restaurant, an expensive one. He said his family wanted to talk. When I arrived, they were already seated. His mother looked uncomfortable. His father avoided eye contact. Ayan smiled awkwardly and said, "We've been struggling too, you know. If only you still had that good job, we could have helped each other." My heart pounded, but I stayed calm. I smiled faintly and said, "Actually, I just got offered a small role, helping organize an event for a local business." His sister rolled her eyes. "So no real job yet?" she asked. I shook my head, pretending to be embarrassed. "Not yet," I said. They exchanged looks, clearly disappointed. The rest of dinner was awkward. They ordered expensive dishes and barely acknowledged me. I sat there watching, memorizing every detail, every sneer, every smug smile. A few weeks later, I organized that event, but it wasn't small. It was a major conference hosted by one of my company's biggest clients. My firm had promoted me quietly after a major campaign success, and I was now leading the event's marketing. I didn't tell anyone, not even Ayan. The night of the event, I watched people flood the ballroom, CEOs, influencers, journalists. And then I saw them, Ayan and his family. His father had apparently gotten a free pass from a friend. They didn't notice me at first, standing confidently near the stage, directing the staff. But when my boss called my name, let's all thank our lead coordinator, Ms. Khan, for making this event a success. Their heads snapped in my direction. I smiled, waved, and walked up to the stage, the lights shining bright. Ayan's face was pale. His mother looked like she'd seen a ghost. When the event ended, they approached me, all fake smiles and shaky voices. "We didn't know you were still working there," his mother said softly. "You should have told us," Ayan added, eyes darting nervously. I looked at them calmly and said, "I wanted to see who would stay when I had nothing to give." The silence that followed was heavy, almost painful. His father tried to laugh it off, muttering something about misunderstandings, but I just shook my head. "No misunderstandings," I said. "Just truth." And then I walked away. Not angry, not bitter, just free. A few months later, I heard Ayan's family had fallen into real financial trouble. Their investments failed and their debts piled up. Part of me felt sorry for them, but I didn't reach out. Sometimes life gives you the same test twice, the first time to learn, the second time to prove you did. And I had learned about people, about love, and about myself. I realized that real wealth isn't in what you own, but in how you treat others when there's nothing to gain. Pretending to be poor taught me that some hearts are rich even when pockets are empty, and some people are bankrupt even when they shine in gold. And as I moved forward, building my career and life on honesty and self-respect, I found peace, not in revenge, but in knowing I never had to beg for love, nor settle for people who needed money to see my worth. That's the kind of wealth no one can fake or take away.